What are you worried about? You are not alone. Top things people worry about most. Worry that sense of insecurity, unease, and fear over what negative events may happen. As unrealistic as these concerns may be, is one of the most unpleasant emotions that you can experience as a human being. It is also one of the most common. While everyone has worried at some point, many people suffer from chronic worrying in the form of anxiety. If you worry often, you are far from alone. In fact, it may comfort you to know that many of us tend to worry about the same issues. All of these anxieties and stressors that may plague your life also affect a huge chunk of the rest of the world as well. What are our common worries as human beings? More importantly, what can be done about them? Whether it's debts, worrying you won't be able to cover all your bills next month, or fear about your financial security in the future when you have kids or when you retire. Financial insecurity is a major cause of stress, but with these being the number one most common worry, rest assured that almost everyone you know is in the same boat as you, and many are probably even worse off than you. The best thing you can do to assault financial worries is to get a good handle on your actual financial situations and make a solid plan and budget. Oftentimes, when you trunk the numbers and get a plan in place, the problem is not a big as we have built it or built it up in our minds. Worry about losing your job. Many people experience fears over redundancy. This stress gets even worse as pressures at work increase, causing people to feel as if their job is at risk if they do not perform to certain standards. Not to mention the external pressures when the economic slows and the job market becomes even more competitive. Again, a pragmatic approach can work wonders in alleviating work related anxiety. Build strong lines of communications between you and your employer. Ensure you know exactly what is expected of you and request regular annual or 6 monthly performance appraisals to allow you to outline your successes and get constructive pointers on areas for improvement. Relationship. About half of both men and women worry about their personal relationships. Those who are single worry about finding a partner, while for those in a relationship, it's common to worry about how secure the bond is or whether the relationship is going. And it's not only romantic relationships that can put a strain on the physique. Strained relationships with family, children, colleagues, and friends can also weigh heavily on your mind. Communication is key to solving relationship problems too. Sharing your worries with a trusted third party can take some of the way off, but trying to communicate more effectively and those you are in a strained relationship with is the most important way you can solve these worries. Health. Many people worry about their health or the health of a loved one to the point that this encourages you to eat a healthy diet and exercise. A little worry can be a good thing, but it's causing severe anxiety and mental turmoil. Then it is not doing you any good. Worrying about developing a serious disease or health condition is a very real problem for many people, which can negatively impact other areas of life. It's difficult to do, but accepting one's mortality is an important part of life. Only by accepting that life is fleeting can you can enjoy the time you do have on earth. All you can do is trying your best to live a healthy life and accept that the rest is out of your control. How to cope and stop worrying? Of course, a certain level of worry is normal, is everyone's life. We all worry about these common things, but when worrying about anxiety, it is not just uncomfortable, it can impact our mental and physical well being, and it can get worse if we don't do anything about it. There are coping strategies that can help reduce the sense of anxiety and insecurity about life. Seeing a clinical psychologist for anxiety counseling can help you talk through your worries and learn coping techniques such as meditation, deep breathing, and mindfulness to help release overwhelming feelings and regain a sense of calm. So, uh, some worry is good when it's beat of caution or a logical planning for the future. Worry can be good, but when we get carried away, we end up worries too much about one thing, or we worry all the time about everything. That's when worry no longer saves or serves us. So, worrying is like paying a debt you don't owe. In other words, right now, in this place and time, is there any real danger in your life? This helps to put worry in context. For example, that I mentioned earlier regarding the economy. Right now, you have a job and the unemployment rate is the lowest it's ever been in your lifetime. So, the news about the economic worries might affect you one day. But right now, today, you still have your job. In other words, meditations and mindfulness are very helpful. Mindfulness here means being aware of anxiety or aware of exactly what's going right now. This habit is like a muscle that needs to be trained over time. So, when a moment comes that mindfulness and self assessment are useful, you will have the skill available to you. You cannot really practice mindfulness in the moments when you are freaking out. You need to practice it before that so you know how to do it. I recommended trying to meditate at about the same time every day. So here are many great apps you can get to help you start, but really you just need to sit in a chair and close your eyes for the 5 minutes, then 10, and eventually more. Mindfulness will eventually help you reach the point where you can look at yourself and your circumstances from a more objective perspectives. It's often described as looking at yourself from the outside or from above. I find it extremely helpful for managing pain. I see the pain as being just a thing, and I can realize or analyze whether I am suffering or just experiencing pain in my life. Fear is very similar. It's useful to see the fear as something other than a part of you. I fully admit that this is the least effective advice ever given about worry. Even though it might be the best advice, consider fear of flying. There is about 1% chance that you will die in a car accident. The probability of dying in an airplane crash is so small, it is almost impossible to calculate. If you can bring yourself to consider the reality of your fears, it might help. Having said that, most people who starts down the road of overanalyzing their fears don't spend a lot of time calculating these odds. But you could if you keep a long or a journal of your fears. This is really a combination of all the other advice here. For examples, you can write down all the worries that pop into your head. Then make some notes about whether the worrying was fleeting, short lived, or lasted more than an hour. You might even go back to yesterday's entry and make a note if any of the worries or concerns that actually happened. If the great psychologist and philosopher Mark Twain is correct, you will see that almost anything you worry about ever actually comes to fruitions. So, like so many things in life, you need to keep worry in its place. And its place is not to be a major part of your life. Think of worry like a good spice. A little worry goes a long ways. So be happy and don't worry in your life. Have a good day. And if you like my blogs, please subscribe and share it.